Welcome, Anne. We're so glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I listen to your podcast from time to time, so thank you for inviting me on. So I'm Anne Markwell. I'm the Nutrition and Food Service Manager at Condell Medical Center, which is part of the Advocate Aurora Hospital System. It's a system of 28 hospitals in Illinois and Wisconsin. And I've been in my current role since September of this past year.
Cool. And hospitals kind of were unique for their food service during the pandemic because they kept working for the patients. But one thing that a lot of operators are finding is like what happened with retail and what is happening with retail and how can we kind of bring their interest back around to it. And that's what I am so excited to talk to you about today, because it seems like this is something that you are doing. So tell us how that's going and with retail.
Sure. Well, a little bit of background. Each hospital in the system was a little bit different, but one of our retail locations, we have 2 on site, did close for a short amount of time due to the pandemic. And just right at the beginning, trying to figure out how to keep people safe, how to serve them safely, how to social distance. It is also new to us. Of course, caring for the patients, but then also for our customers and our guests. So what we've been doing is just making sure that we're getting the word out that first of all of our retail operations are open. Some people kind of have forgotten, I think, about us in the midst of everything that's happening. I would say about 80% of our regular customers are our team members, right? Our coworkers, our nurses, clinicians. So they've kind of been in the middle of something. So kind of reminding them that we're here for them. Also introducing some new concepts and really just doing a lot of really fun events, trying to create an atmosphere that is stress relieving, is fun, is nourishing, all of those things that you really need, I think, that we all need after living through a year of COVID. And, so I think just trying to recharge, refuel, and give people the idea that we're here for you. We're here to help you and support you in your caregiving to a patient, I think is really important. That's what we've been focusing on.
Right. And even during normal times, a hospital can totally be a stressful place to be, specifically for visitors. If you're visiting a loved one or a friend there, and the food should be like an oasis, I think, to get away from all that. So tell us a little bit about a couple of the concepts that are new.
Sure. So, and I totally agree with you. I think that food in a hospital environment is so important, not only the patient, experience, but for visitors, sometimes it's one of the only choices people get in a day, right?
Yep.
So I think it's really important that we do what we do well, offer a lot of variety, and make sure that we have healthy options for people. But at times, if someone wants some mashed potatoes or a burger, like, let them have it. It's like that's what they need at the moment. We can do that.
You should have it. Absolutely. Yeah.
So a couple of the concepts that we've been focusing on, I would say, since January, really, as visitor restrictions have started to open up, as we're seeing more team members come back to work, because we do have a lot of folks, if they weren't directly involved in patient care, they've been working remotely. Right. So that was some of our customer base as well. Mm-hmm. So trying to build revenue through lots of different fun days, different marketing strategies. We've really been focusing on a lot of, I would say, interdepartmental or cross-promotional activities, because, not only are we able to partner with a different department in the hospital, but you also have that whole department marketing for you, right? Sure. So that's worked out really well. So, for example, in February, of course, we had a system-wide initiative called Celebrate the Chefs, where we highlighted African-American chefs, once a week for Black History Month. Mm-hmm. That was also Heart Health Awareness Month. So we partnered with cardiology, and we worked on some really heart-healthy activities. We even had a heart-healthy menus, and then we also had a virtual workout that the whole hospital was invited to. And so that was super fun. And again, it was a way to get remote workers involved as well. I feel like they're kind of siloed and alone right now and missing out on some of that experience. So those were two of the popular events in February. And then we also, again, with the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee here at the hospital, we hosted a Taste of the Caribbean event that went over really well. And that was to celebrate, partially Black History Month, partially it's really cold in February and we needed to get away from it all. And also it was happened to be like the week of Bob Marley's birthday. So we were just like, why not? And then the co-chair of the DE&I committee is Jamaican. So she was able to share a lot of her recipes, which was awesome. And we really had that like authentic. She was very particular. She came down and tasted everything and made sure that we had, done her recipes justice. So that was a really fun day.
That's a big deal, and trusting somebody with your recipes.
Yes. Especially I think, when it's something that's so cherished and part of your culture. So, so that was really a privilege to work with Carol on that. In March, we kind of went along the same lines and again, partnered with another department, the Women's Center, and we focused on female chefs and Women's History Month and women's health. So that's really been going well. For this month, our promotions in the cafeteria have been really well attended, well received. There's been a lot of variety in the cuisine, so that's been nice. And then also, of course, it's National Nutrition Month, so we're also focusing on superfoods throughout the cafeteria and the cafe. So some days you can come down and get something healthy, and then other days, maybe not as healthy, but the choices are both there for you. So
yes, I love that. And I love that there's a current of positivity running through this. This is all good things that, to be celebrating. And if I almost forgot to mention, we are going to have a little story and slideshow about the Jamaican festival that you had. So that's
awesome.
Hopefully if that's posted, we'll have the link down below. But readers can keep an eye out for that. So you'll get to see exactly the dishes that she's talking about. And it seems, just reggae music really makes people happy. Like it's something about it. Like and I always felt like it kind of did like cross cultural boundaries, because you just you picture just like people on the beach, and it was super cold for you that day, right? It was like negative.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It was like -10, I think.
That's a lot.
In Chicagoland. It was very cold.
Brother Marty is in Chicago, and the weather always comes like a day earlier. So earlier this week, he was like, "Oh, it's really nice outside." Like I think it was on Sunday. He always calls us on Sunday. He and his girlfriend had been outside and doing stuff, and I was like, "It's still kind of cold here," but then it did warm up in Ohio. So what's it like there now?
Oh gosh, I haven't been outside since about 7 this morning.
Oh my God.
But that's okay. And like I think a lot of times, non-commercial food service, we're in the basement. So I have my like sunlight lamp to give me some vitamin D. But
I ordered one of those. I heard though that it can make you hyper. So that hasn't happened yet, but
I think I'm hyper most of the time. So or high energy maybe. I guess we can figure out what word we want to use.
Right.
But I think it's about 50s or
okay. So spring. You're in the northern parts of the country. Spring has a ton of false start.
Oh my goodness. It's so exciting though, I think that idea of spring, and I think kind of as we've gone through this pandemic, we're maybe starting to see the light, at the end of the tunnel. It's still a long ways away, but
I know.
I think that you can just feel it in the hospital, that people kind of have this renewed sense of energy and of hope.
Yeah.
Which is it's great to be around. So
that is. And these were, and are continuing to be the frontline workers. And it's like, it's so awesome, to make things nourishing for them. And, we all commend you for doing that. And I think it's awesome.